All right, so I mentioned we're gonna do 2 lessons, but don't worry, that doesn't mean like twice as much work. It's just these are shorter lessons. So if you remember from last week, we were doing triangle congruence. Okay, we're gonna do 4 theorems, we call them, okay? And these are shortcuts to proving 2 triangles are congruent, okay? The first one is called side, 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 and we can use just 3 S's to abbreviate. So it just says if all we know are 3 pairs of sides, see, remember we talked about corresponding? What does corresponding mean? Like matching? So like HI would match up with what side in the other one? LK. And GH matches with what side over here? JK. And GI matches with LJ. So if all 3 match up, we know the triangles that are congruent. Now we talked about order of the letters matters. So let's take this triangle.
Do we have to write the triangle thing before?
Yeah, you got to put the little triangle symbol. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's fine. Just like an angle, we would put the little angle symbol in front. Now you can name this triangle any way you want. So how would you name this one?
HIG.
HIG. Again, it doesn't matter. But it does matter now how we name the second triangle.
LKJ.
Okay, so let's see. H. What does H correspond to?
Okay.
Okay.
So it'd be KL.
Do you see how H is where the 2 markings and the 1 marking come together? So we have to look at the 1 marking and the 2 markings. So that we got to start with K here. Okay, next it goes to I. I is over here. Notice where I is. That's where the 1 tick mark and the 3 tick marks come together. So that's going to be L. And then hopefully G matches with the last letter. What do you think? Does G match with J? Okay. Again, there's multiple ways to name it, but if you go with one order for the first triangle, you have to match it up with the second. Good? All right. Does the diagram give enough information to show that the triangles are congruent by side, side, side congruence? Okay, we have these 2 sides are congruent. That's 1 pair of sides. We have HK and KL congruent. But what else do you notice here? This 3rd side is actually the same measure for both triangles. So if we were to draw these separately, would they have all 3 sides congruent to all 3 sides? Yes. So we're going to say yes for this one.
Oh, Zoom was so far, right?
Okay. What do you think?
Did you keep us? I forgot. Did you keep us into the whole hour?
No, dude.
Okay. What's the problem that we have with this picture?
I know.
We're missing one of the sides. Now it's a right triangle. Do you remember the formula A squared?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Okay. So
Let's go, guys.
let's say this is A and this is B. So far, I can see that these 2 sides are
Does it
congruent.
matter what you say is A and what you say is B?
Not really. But C, okay. Now, what we can do is figure out, can we solve for C for this one? Let's try. We'll have 5 squared.
Wait, why did you make 13C on the other one?
Because it's opposite the right angle.
Oh, I see.
So 25 plus 144 equals C squared. We did this in the last chapter, if you recall. We take the square root.
What did it called me?
Remember?
No, I'm joking. I actually knew that.
I should hope
Oh,
so.
God, I knew that.
I thought,
Okay.
can you also just look at the other side? Is
No,
it
you're
supposed
not
to be like the same as the other side?
If they're going to be the same. So
Yeah,
here.
When you just automatically know.
Okay. Now, I don't have this side here.
Right.
But if we did Pythagorean theorem for this one, Are we gonna get
But
5?
It's gonna be the same thing because it's just every number has to like match. Right?
Yeah, it has to match. So this one is gonna be. This one's also a yes.
Is the square root of 159 13?
Yeah. Okay. So those are gonna be yes.
Oh wait, can you go back to the? How do
I have a question.
how do you know with the other one?
Well, if we did this, so let's say I went through and I did a squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. And I solved Pythagorean theorem. I would get 25. And then when I take the square root, I would get 5.
I would chicken say next.
So no matter what, we'll get all the sides are going to be the same.
Oh,
Okay.
for both triangles?
Yeah.
So they don't have to be the same number. They just have to be. The same.
They have
How
to.
does the
No,
five-
they do. They do.
How does the 5?
If this is 5, this has to be 5.
Oh, the other one's
If
5.
this is 12, this is 12.
Wait,
If this is
the other one's 5. I thought that was 13.
no, this one's 13 and this is
Oh, it's
13.
25. I said 169.
Because you're trying to figure out what A is.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, listen.
We're trying to figure out what C
I'm
is. for that one.
confused with this.
We already did that.
But-
We'll figure out that one.
But
We
there's no
showed that all 3 sides
69.
are congruent to all 3
Yeah,
sides.
just that.
When I say sides, I'm talking about corresponding. What did we say corresponding means? Matching.
Oh, so do we
Does
have to
this side
them?
match with this one? Yes. Does this side match with this one? Yes. Does this one match with this one? Yes. Then we're good.
Wait, but ultimately, are they both equal to 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not always, just with these particular numbers.
Yeah, like that they have to be.
Okay, next. Here's our second theorem. Okay, side angle side is the next one. This means if we have 2 sides and an included angle of one triangle, okay, so now we don't know all 3 sides. Here we know,
I mean, this is not how we got.
okay, so HI is congruent to LK. We see that? And we also have GH is congruent to KJ. So we have 2 pairs of sides, 2 matching corresponding sides. The included angle. Okay, so the angle has to be between where the 2 sides are marked congruent. This H, is that congruent to K? Yes. So we can say triangle, we'll do GHI this time, we'll do a different order. Would have to be congruent to, okay, so if I start with G, what angle do I have to start with on the other one? J. And H matches with K, and I matches with L. Good.
Like I do no good.
Okay, so given 2 sides, I just want to practice what would be the included angle between the 2 sides. Okay, if you have if you just kind of trace over it with your pencil, I'll do it with the colors on the computer here so you could see. If I do JK and KM, what would be the included angle? Where do they meet?
Geom.
It's got to use 3 letters here, guys.
Geom.
JKM. JKM.
Geom.
David. I'll tell you a quick, easy way to tell for sure. Look at the names of the sides. It repeats the vertex. So you see how this has the K in it and this has the K? Put the K in the middle and it's going to be the other 2 letters. So let's try with the next one.
KJL.
Oh, I can't erase for some reason. Okay, next one, we got KL and JL. JLK, perfect.
And the order matters, right?
It okay, the middle letter is the most important. You could say KLJ would also be fine. But the one that repeats has to be in the middle. It has to be the second letter. So, without even looking at the picture, K has to be in the middle. So it's going to be angle L K.
So how do you know K has to be in the middle?
because it's the vertex. So if I look at LK, which is here, and KM, which is here, what letter is right where they both connect? You see the two sides? Where the
So is B JKL? Oh no, JLK.
yeah, because what letter repeats?
L.
L, so that has to be the middle letter. Okay. Yeah. I agree. No, these are angles. Okay. Does the diagram give enough information to use side angle side congruence? Okay. AB is congruent to BC. That's one side. We know the right angles are both congruent to each other, so there's a pair of angles. Do we have another pair of sides that would be congruent? Anytime the triangles are connected, these two, so do you notice here I have side, angle, side, side, angle, side? Or if I were to cut this one out, paste it on top of the other, I'd have to flip it around. It would be the same. So this one is going to be yes. Okay, if so, write a congruent statement. So triangle, let's name the triangle on the left. You want to do DAB? That's fine. David. Shh. David, I don't want to hear you up here. All right, if I start with D, A, and then B, what do I have to do on the triangle to the right? If I start with D, DCB, good.
Take it in, but don't look back.
Can you explain SAS congruence again?
Still look
Well, you have two sides and an included angle. Look above at the picture. Okay, listen, we're going to do lots more examples. So let's just see. And I'm also recording, so you can always go back. In this one, do you see where the two triangles meet?
Yeah.
Okay, now this one is tricky.
No.
This one doesn't work. What's the problem with this one?
The angle
The angle is not where the two sides that are congruent come together. That would be the included angle here and here. But do you see how it's the wrong angle? So we're going to say no for that. Those are not congruent. Okay, let's look at this one. This is literally what the homework is going to be tonight. It's going to be, are the triangles congruent? And then we're just going to write the reason, and a couple of them will have congruent statements. Okay, is this one a side, 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 or a side angle side? What do you think? Do we have two sides that match? Yes. Is the angle included? Is it between? Yes. Good. So our answer is side angle side. Okay, now I want to name the triangles congruent. So we could, you want to do the one on the top?
You know it's side angle side because it has those curves.
Yeah, whenever it has the curve. So ACB, is that the order we want to go?
Yeah. Does it matter the order here?
Okay, the first one you can name any order you want. I could do CAB,
What matters is match
BCA,
them up,
BAC.
right?
So the top one, I can name any order.
What matters is you match them
Now
up.
I have to match it. A, C, A. Do you see how it's actually like flip-flopped?
DCE.
Starts with, so D matches with A. C matches with itself. Do you see how C is a vertical angle? So C has to go in the middle. And then E. Okay with that? All right, B. Are there any sides that are these two triangles connected at a side?
At an angle.
Just at an angle. Are those vertical angles? Are these lines straight here? No. And so we have these two sides that meet, but do we have another piece of information? No. So we're just going to write no. So if it's no, then we don't have to do that part. Okay.
This is side.
No, because all we have are two sides. Right? We have these pair of sides. We don't have enough information, in other words. Okay. Oh, good. Side, side, side. Side, side, side. Now triangles. Do you want to do the one on the top left? PQR.
PQ performances.
And then S.
Okay, be careful here. Okay, it is going to start with S.
Oh,
P match,
SRQ.
but let's look at PQ. S. It is SRQ, but I want to make sure. Do you understand why? Look at PQ. PQ is the side
Would
that
it
has.
be SQR?
No, why not?
Because don't Q and Q go together? No,
It's flip flopped. Listen.
but
Do you remember
there's no
how
Q
when
on
we-
the other side.
Like flip flops.
So do you see how PQ, the first two letters, has two markings? SR also has two markings. If I did SQ, that only has one. It wouldn't match. So we have to make sure the angles and the sides go in the same order. I know it can be a little tricky when they're like flip-flopped. Okay, this one. Okay, they do have a side in the middle they share. Oh, we have parallel lines. Do you remember what we have with parallel lines? I know it's been a while. We have alternate interior angles that are congruent. I know it's been a while.
So
SAS, good. Okay, and then we'll name the triangles congruent.
Can we do DEG?
We can do
so fast.
DEG.
Yeah. Does it start with F, the next one?
Good. F has to, because F,
Is it FGE? Or no? Is it right? Oh, bless.
good. Good.
Are we doing more?
Yeah. It's okay. It's going to be fine. So, there's going to be 4 ways that we can make triangles congruent. We've already done 2. We're going to do 2 more. So we did side, 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 side angle, side. The next one is going to be angle, side, angle. So what do you think that's going to look like? It's going to have 2 matching angles and the side between those angles congruent. So do you see how this has 2 curvy things, the arcs? That's it. But this has 2 matching angles and the side in between the 2 angles.
So would that be like TWR or something like that?
TWR. So TWR would be congruent to what triangle? What does T match with on the other triangle? G, good. And then W matches with H. And then R matches with C.
Will you stay for a second?
I'll sit. Okay, and then this is the last one. What's the difference between the last 2? Angle, side, angle, and angle. So with angle, side, angle, the side was right between the 2 angles that were marked. Oh, to get your lunches? Yeah, let's. We should.
Wait, I have a question.
This
How-
is the difference.
How C? I mean, I thought it was T and C go together. Like I thought.
Wait, we gotta
like,
go over
you know
to
what I
lunches
mean?
No, T has 1 mark.
Oh, you have to look at the mark.
You have to look at the
Okay.
number of markings. Okay, this one is angle, angle, side. So do you see how these 2 angles are marked congruent? But the included side would be this one and this one. But we don't know those 2. We just know those 2.
Can we do KJL?
KJL, sure. KJL would be congruent to which?
Starts with A.
Has to start with A.
ACDC?
J has to match with C, and L has to match with B. Okay with that? Okay. All right, name the included side that's between the 2 angles. So let's take a look. JKM. JKM is here. And KMJ is here. What side is between those 2?
K.
J.
Well, it's going to be two letters. It's going to be a side. KM. Why is KM?
Because it's like the half.
It's the, look at the two angles that are marked congruent and look at the side that kind of connects those two angles.
How would you know that those two are congruent?
Those
Oh.
right here.
sorry.
It's okay. Now look at the letters. Do you notice anything in the letters? Oh,
Like they're both next to each other.
what two letters repeat here? K and M.
I don't.
My God. Oh, everything repeats.
Okay, MKL. Now we have a little trick to this one. MKL is here. MKL is here.
Is it KM again?
And KLM is here. What side would connect those two angles?
KM.
KL.
Okay, L.
Yeah. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm like marking the angle. Okay, so let's look at the next one. KMJ. Where would KMJ go? KMJ. KMJ would be right here. Do you see it? KMJ? Follow the order of the letters. KMJ. So right here. Okay. And angle J. Tricky one here because I only gave you one letter. Where's angle J? Right here. Okay. What side connects those two angles? J what? JM.
I'm still confused.
Geom.
For KM, like the first one,
Mm-hmm.
like you said that they both were like that because they were both congruent. So how do you know? Because like for example, I thought it was KM again for the second one. How is it KL? Like, what
Because
makes it
when
KL?
I labeled it different. So MKL is here. And KLM is here.
But how do you know? Like,
What do you mean? How do I know that? I'm just
How do you know
M-
that those two are congruent and not?
no, they're not congruent to each other. If you notice, I didn't mark them congruent to each other. I just marked them.
How do you know not to mark like M?
Well, because M is on the end. What letter's in the middle?
Okay.
The vertex. So you always have to look at the vertex.
Is the second one MJ? I mean, the third one?
MJ? Yeah. Okay, what additional congruence is needed to show these two triangles are congruent? Well, we have vertical angles. What other side would we need for angle side? Or sorry, what other angle? J and N.
Why is it J?
Because if this was going to be angle side, right, we would have to pick the other angles that are not between the sides congruent. Or not, I should say, on the other side of the,
Angle, so and that's angle side.
that's angle side. Okay. Okay, does the diagram give enough information to show the triangles are congruent? If so, state the reason. Now we have 4 different reasons. Side, 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 angle, side angle, or angle, side. Okay, now sometimes there's extra information that we can label, like when they're connected by a side or if they have vertical angles. Is there anything additional we can label?
Oh, like do the little.
The angles in the middle?
Yeah.
These are vertical angles, and they're always going to be congruent. You see how the lines are straight here? Okay.
Should we like label it?
We're not writing congruent statements here. Side angle side. Oops. Do we have 2 matching sides? This and this. This one matches with this one, and these 2 angles. And is the angle in between? Perfect.
Is the second one side, side, side?
Well, let's see. They share a side here, but I see. What do the arrows mean again? Parallel lines. Do you remember what I wrote on the other example? We had alternate interior.
I see.
Here's the question. Is the angle between the two congruent sides? So this one's no. These can be a little tricky because it's like you have to like go off of more additional information.
For C, how can you tell?
Because we don't know. This is the included angle. This is included. Do we know the included angles? No.
How can you tell for C like what it is? Like,
Oh, what's this mean? These lines are parallel and these lines are parallel. So that means these are congruent and these two are congruent
is it not side, side, side?
and they share a side. Yeah.
How do you know that though?
Well,
Like, what
do we
tells
have
you
two
that?
matching angles?
Yeah, but where
Okay,
do you,
and now
where
is
do you
the
get
si-
that from though? Like, I'm confused. Like, where do you get
Alternate interior angles from our previous chapter. And then is the side congruent that connects the two angles? Yes. So that's how we know it's angle side angle.
Wait, alternate interior. What, can you say that again?
Alternate interior angles.
But you said that's what makes it congruent.
Okay, how about D? D has more than one right
Couldn't
answer
you
actually.
look at like all of these and just do that though? Like, do you not know what I mean? Like, is D A A S? I see S.
D. Okay, I have alternate interior angles. What else can I mark? Can I mark the ones in the middle?
Use cases.
Oh no, sorry.
Angle side angle. Yeah.
Wait, what's
Just
the
like
other
we
one?
could go to lunch and just come back.
Is it available already? Are you going to come back?
No, it's available at 30.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the other one?
Yeah, but we only have these last two examples.
What's D? For D, what else is it? Yeah.
I mean, if you want to come back real fast, that's fine.
You said it's S side S and what else? Wait, what tells you that that's angle side angle again? Because they're alternate. And
So these two angles are congruent, and the side is between the two congruent angles.
what? And why was that?
Wait, where are you guys going?
Wait, don't worry about it. They're coming
Why
back.
was
I'm
that?
not joining them.
Why was
You also have
why was the other one angle side angle?
Which one?
The sorry,
And I was
C.
eating my lunch.
Because these two are congruent and these two are congruent. So we have two matching pairs
And
of
these are
angles.
also two matching pairs. For
Yeah.
D?
Because these are alternate interior and these are vertical. Okay. All right. How about E? We have two sides. Is that enough? Nope.
They're just nothing.
Nothing. So if the answer is no, we just leave it. And then the last one,
Side, side, side.
side, side, side.